Bandidos, Tux is back with another Division 2 video, and the devs have just released that PTS Phase 2 is coming out, and included are some big surprises, including reversions to some of the nerfs. So you're going to want to stick around for this one. And we got notes. I thought we'd go over them together. Let's do this.
Piece of shit wristwatch.
Devs just released this. I'm here on the known issues board for the Division 2, and it looks like we have some Phase 1 developer notes and a PTS coming. So let me just drop this real quick and show you the Twitter post. So here's the post from the developers, and they say, ready for Phase 2 of TU22 PTS. Join us on October 3rd. That's just in a couple of days at 3 p.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern, as we show changes since Phase 1. Check the developer notes for adjustment after your feedback. We'll discuss them on stream. I'm looking forward to that. And we'll be covering it live, of course. Join me over on Twitch and YouTube. We have preload available October 3rd. And then the test server will open October 4th. And the server will be closed on the 7th. So 3 days again. I'm glad they're doing this really close together, too, while things are fresh in people's mind. Okay, and these are the developer notes for Phase 1 that they've left us and what will be discussed in the live stream. So have your questions ready for that. It says, hello agents, we are immensely grateful for all the feedback we received following Phase 1. Yeah, there were a lot of surprises, right? So there was a ton of feedback, lots of feedback. Of course, that was for Title Update 22 coming up and Seasons 2.0. And we want to share our findings and next steps based on your experiences on PTS. So the Strega Exotic FAL, this is the new exotic assault rifle, it was not functioning as intended during Phase 1, as it had infinite range and indefinite stacks, both of which have now been fixed. We will review the results from Phase 2 to assess the remaining values. Yeah, okay. I mean, I personally hadn't used this, but I heard people reacting to it, saying like, wow, it seems as though it's stacking more than what's supposed to. So that's probably the case. So they're fixing whatever bug there was. Legatus SPA brand set, if I'm saying that right, 2 pieces bonus was updated. So optimal range was increased from 50 to 70%. Not a super hardcore fan of this brand set, I gotta say. I'm not one that wants to put optimal range in a very important damage slot or something that can give me even more survivability, but at least they increased it. Real quick on the Legatus brand set, the 1 piece gives you swap speed and then optimal range and then 15% weapon damage. Could be interesting for SMGs and shotguns maybe? We'll see. Virtuoso gear set. So 4-piece bonus was updated. So range was changed from 30 to 25 meters and timer was increased from 10 to 15 seconds. Let's put this on hold real quick and jump to what that gear set was. Virtuoso, 2 pieces gives you 15% handling, 15% mag size. I like that combo. 3 pieces gives you 15% weapon damage, also good. 4 pieces equipped unlocks a new unique talent. So let's see, killing an enemy further than 30 meters will provide 30% weapon damage for shotguns, SMGs, and pistols, plus 15% weapon damage for ARs and LMGs. So for 10 seconds. So for 10 seconds there. So killing an enemy within 30 meters will provide plus 30% weapon damage to marksmen and rifles. Let's go no scope something. And plus 15% weapon damage to ARs and LMGs. That could be good damage on those rifles and snipers, 30% in 30 meters. That's where I play. Intermittently killing enemies from both ranges will build up stacks. At 4 stacks, all bonuses are doubled and triggered at the same time. That could be insane. That could be pretty good damage, actually. Okay, chest and backpack talents. Let's see, these are always iffy. So double the weapon damage bonus of Symphony for the chest. Backpack bonus talent Accelerando. Decrease the number of stacks needed to proc the Symphony double buffs from 4 to 3. Okay, so from 4 to 3. Let's go back to the notes. So range was changed from 30 to 25 meters. Wow, okay, that's great. And the timer was increased from 10 to 15 seconds. Wow, double buff. I like that change. Good job, devs. Excited to try that gear set. Rifles and MMRs are my thing, and they look like they're gonna get a nice increase in damage from that. Priority objectives, there should be an option to abandon objectives. The priority objectives, if you didn't know, are basically like our projects tab. They sort of reskinned it, and by completing a priority objective, you unlock and encounter modifiers and rewards. So they implemented an abandon feature to priority objectives as a way for you to skip activities you're not interested in. Plus, we've removed some objectives that were holding up progress because they were time limited and couldn't be completed quickly for a smoother experience and faster progression. For example, settlement blockade is now removed from the rotation. Okay, small little changes there. Seasonal modifiers. Oh gosh, I hope they did something to those negs. Starting off with UI issue with range dependencies for Stellite coding. The description was incorrect and misleading, so they updated it. There wasn't any connection between the color and functionality. Now the icon changes color depending on the range from the enemy, from which the enemy must be taken down, short, medium, or long. The bar shows how many stacks you need to deplete. You deplete the stacks with each shot. Stellite coding will be apparently in a better spot visually. So if you're like the majority of the player base and not able to test the PTS, you're probably asking yourself, what is Stellite coding? The quick is, it's a coating added to bullet sponges to make them absorb more bullets. This is one of the game modifiers. And yes, you can turn it off, but that means you're turning off everything. All of the modifiers, basically Seasons 2.0. And this one, Stellite coding, looked dreadful. And apparently, it's going to be really common. To give you an idea, if you've participated in the global events like Guardians and the enemies were basically immune, well, they appear to be more immune than the minions that were guarded by the Guardians. Those minions guarded by the Guardians take more damage than these dudes with Stellite coding. So yeah, that's what Stellite coding is. And now you know. Stellite coding range felt frustrating. Yeah, here we go. So that's the feedback that they were provided. Now here's the response. We are aware that Stellite coding is the most abundant modifier globally. As you have already noticed, this is due to the fact that common enemies are the most likely to have it equipped. Unfortunately, we do not have a limit on how many members of a fire team can have the same modifier equipped at once. However, we will take the following actions. Remove the eligibility for Stellite from a couple of common enemies, such as Black Tusk Assault and Thrower, and assign them to a scarcer modifier, like Master of None or Requital, as Terrify requires the NPC archetype to be exclusive melee. So slightly lower the chance for each enemy to have a modifier equipped on higher end difficulties, like Heroic, from 80% to 65 to 70, for example. So they're tweaking it. Okay. Balancing weapons and talents. So Sledgehammer and Mosquito Song talents. Since a lot of players weren't happy with the changes to the Sledgehammer, yours truly was not either, we're going to switch it back to how it was in Title Update 21. Yes. Chalk one up for the player base. Good job, team. However, Mosquito Song will keep its updated talent. Here's how the damage to armor debuff will look. Sledgehammer 15%, Perfect Sledgehammer 20%, Mosquito Song 25%. Both the Sledgehammer and Mosquito will now have a team-wide buff. Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, who was complaining about the Mosquito Song? Nobody's even using that weapon. Who are you people? So St. Elmo's Engine Exotic AR, here we go. The Phase 1 nerf was minor, as the M4 that the Elmo is based on is getting a damage buff, which will also enhance the Elmo. We hear your complaints, and the negative 10 rounds nerf will be reverted in Phase 2. Woo! 2 points for the community. Good job, devs. They're listening. That makes me really happy to hear them responding directly to feedback. I love that. I love that. So they're justifying their actions, but it's about the community more than the NPCs. That's the point. The game is not gonna break if the St. Elmo's has an extra 10 rounds. It's okay if the player base enjoys this assault rifle a lot more than other assault rifles. They're always gonna gravitate to one. And nerfing the St. Elmo's isn't really fixing anything. They're just gonna find another assault rifle that everybody's going to run. And then they're going to end up nerfing that one too. This is exactly what we wanted to see, is some compromise. And that's what we got. Now let's see what they say about the Ouroboros. If you compare Ouroboros to other exotics, including the St. Elmo's engine, you'll see how much overpowered it is. And that's true. To achieve balance, it needs a more significant adjustment. Similar to the St. Elmo's engine, the negative 10 rounds nerf will be reverted in Phase 2. The rate of fire was also adjusted following Phase 1 from 1275 to 1250. So this is a give and take, it looks like. They gave us back some of the mag. I think that's important because the talent on this exotic sucks. The reality is I think they should adjust the talent so that it stands out as an actual exotic weapon, which it doesn't, especially when they take away its damage, because that was the only thing making it exotic. And it's still a powerful weapon, of course, but they're giving us some of our ammo back. That makes me happy. At the same time, they reduced the RPM by another 25. So I won't give us a full point for that one, but let's give ourselves a half a point for the community. It's a score. Obliterate talent. We agree that dropping from 25 to 17 stacks is too much of a nerf. So we're going to adjust the max stacks to 20 in phase 2. Again, another compromise. So half a point for the community. There's always this small chunk of players that side and justify with the nerfs. So if this is you, I'd love to hear the devs responded to player feedback. Do you think that's bad for the game? Love to hear your thoughts on that. Strikers. We saw a few mentions of players being happy with the strikers changes, and we need to mention that only the backpack was changed. The main functionality of the 4 pieces is still there and just as powerful. In phase 2, the value of the backpack stacks will be brought from 0.85 to 0.9. Again, they're compromising based on the community's feedback. So if you're voting for the strikers nerf, do you think this is a bad move? That's all we have now, and the devs are going to cover this during that live stream, and we'll be there. Let me know your guys' thoughts. This is definitely something I haven't seen from the devs in a very long time, a response to actual feedback. More importantly, they're considering that feedback and adjusting accordingly. Did they adjust too much? Too little? Let us know what you think. Thank you for hanging out with me today. My name is Tuxedo Bandido. That's Tito Bandido.
What's crack-a-lackin'?
This was another episode of The Division 2. If you found this video helpful, subscribe, like, and turn on notifications to ensure you don't miss out on the fantastic experiences waiting for you in The Division 2. And if you like builds like this, check out the recommended build video I have here for you. If you have anything you want to see covered, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And thank you to all the channel members and donors who make everything possible. Tux Nation wouldn't be without you.
When you buy a game from Ubisoft, enter the creator code Tuxedo Bandido to support the channel. Easy peasy. Now maybe this cheapskate can afford to sign me up for that dating app I've had my eyes on.
Follow me.
I get it.